Hello, welcome to another episode of Love and Everything in Between podcast. Today we're going to be talking about something that is very central to relationships in marriage or central to marriages, and that is raising kids. We can't do with them, we can't do without them. I don't know, something like along those lines. So, what is it like to have kids? What is it like to raise them?
And how to balance.
How does
how
that?
to balance.
How do you balance that with actually having a relationship and marriage? We're going to be delving into that today. Don't go anywhere.
So today we have with us a power
Some of our-
couple.
yeah, some of our oldest friends.
When you say oldest like that, now they'll be expecting.
No. That can't expect old people. I said friends. I didn't say older.
You can be friends with
I didn't
older
say
people now.
older. I
Okay,
said
sorry, oldest. Okay, me, go
friends.
English.
Like we've
So,
known them for
Not
yonks. Like a very before they got married, before we got married, before they had children, before we had children, And yeah, they're a power couple. They work together. They're doing amazing things. Yinka and Bola from the owners and is it chairman, vice chairman, co-chairman of Pop Central.
Thank you for joining us, and please introduce yourselves.
Okay, thank you for having us, Robert
welcome.
and Bill. It's such an honor to be here today. My name is Bola Yinka Obebe, and well, he'll introduce himself.
I
told you. Exactly. What do? I wear so many hats. Tons of hats.
Actually,
I don't even know where to start from. Multi-skilled. Tipoju. So let's just say I work in media.
Okay.
I have a passion for culture
Okay.
and languages, especially ethnic languages. I love to game. I play games a lot. I sing in the bathroom.
So Baba did singer in there, just like that.
Mind you, I used to be a performing artist. I used to be a rapper.
With an EP.
Yes, with an EP to prove it. I do so many things. I have so many interests, and I'm unafraid to explore all of my interests at any time. So that's me in a nutshell.
Okay. And Uncle Yinka.
Okay, so my name is Yinka Obebe, and yes, founder and CEO of Pop Central. So I have a board and I have chairman. So if you're going to call me chairman, my board will now tell me that.
Yeah, so God,
There's something going on.
It's like he wants to go
So I'll report to the board and say that was a mistake. That's a joke. Anyway, so so Pop Central and quite a lot of interest as well as
He's also an author.
Bola as well. Okay, yeah, I wrote a book.
You wrote a book, yeah.
I turned 40 a few years ago, and I wrote a book called Move, Let's Go to Lagos. I've got like some other interest in some music type business that's coming up. So that's it.
Okay. And you guys have been married for how many years now?
I think we got married in 2000.
We'll be 15 years this year.
Yes.
Oh, 15 years this year?
Yeah.
15 years in September.
Actually, in a few weeks.
Okay.
We'll be 15
realize
years.
though.
Okay.
Next month.
Yeah.
Oh, congratulations. Then
Thank
you
you.
renewal of vows going on 15 years. That's what they do in 15 years.
You know, Mishi.
Question will be.
It depends on.
I was thinking we should do it when we turned 10,
10.
but we never did.
Yeah, even we wanted to do at 10 as well,
It
but
just didn't happen.
life just
So
happened.
have you guys done any?
Nope.
Renewal.
No,
What did they carry on?
just reinforcing what
You don't know what you
But
want.
sure.
You tell yourself every day. So,
Anyway.
but also the parents. You guys are also the parents to
The
two
entire-
lovely
Two lovely
kids.
Oh
kids.
yeah, two amazing kids.
And one of the things my wife remembers very vividly is some of the advice she got before we had kids, or when we just had kids.
Yeah, when we just had
I
kids.
hope they were good at it because I have no idea.
You know, they say
What
it's the
I
person
said?
that is packing the shit
collected me.
that knows
Yeah.
what. So you might have said it offhandedly, but it
Yeah.
actually stuck with me because
Wow,
I remember when I think I was complaining to you about work, the marriage, pregnancy, and all of that, and you just told me never lose yourself. That you always have to make out time for each other. That yourself and Yinka, you don't joke with it. There must be date nights. You must find a day within the week to just do something that both of you that would involve just the both of you, you know. And I was like, oh, okay, that's actually very profound because in my head I'm like, I have my day off. Can I just rest? Can I do what I want to do? But you understand? So that also helps me know that okay, being together is actually very, very important. And I held on to that in my obviously life curveballs will happen at some point, you understand? And I also remember very, very vividly at some point when you were working, he was working, and the kids, and you had no nanny.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember we
And for the mind, as in my mind, I'm like, how are you coping? Like, how are you doing it? And the kids have turned out amazing. So I just want to understand, as in, you know how you only hear these things and you never like elaborate fully for people to understand how it was for you at that point in time. So I would really like for you to like.
Because the average person, I mean, the average person just says, "Oh, I'm going to marry, I'm going to have children." And then you marry, and then you just have children. Okay. Now the children are there. How do you actually raise these children? How do you make sure that they become human beings that are contributing positively to society and they are not adding to the issues? You know, it's a big thing.
Yeah.
So it's interesting that this is 15 years now. So we've been nurturing children for 14 years now. Eita is 14. And the reason I did nurturing, because I recently listened to someone say, oh no, you raise cattle, not children. You're not supposed to raise children.
Oh,
you're supposed to nurture them to the full potential that they're meant to be. I just heard that. I didn't hear that before. So it's not like I had that information before. But yeah, I think there were moments. I'm trying to remember now. There were gaps where, you know how you used to have help, then you no longer have help, and you have to navigate still with work, with everything that is happening in your life. It doesn't mean everything has to shut down.
Yeah.
I think that majorly it's really about the couples understanding the situation, and it's not one person's problem.
Yes.
Right? It's a collective. So we all have to now pick up that slack.
Yeah.
You know, it's not one person's problem. And for even at the time before we started working together, we've always done things that we sort of. He's always been in media. I was in fashion.
Yes.
Yeah, and he did understand what I was doing. And I also understood. I mean, before we even got married, we had similar dreams. I've always had this dream of having a school of arts. You know, building out a school of art, and I ventured into so many things. In my mind, I was preparing myself for the school of art. You know, I'd done makeup. I'd done jewelry making. I'd done fashion. I once had a studio, recording studio, as a recording artist. So many business ventures, you know, very eclectic. So I've always done so many things, but still within the creative art, entertainment kind of space. So we get ourselves. And I would also say that I don't think I didn't marry a traditional husband.
Now I know.
So he's not, you know, the expectation of, oh, women have to be XYZ and the men, no. It's a case of, okay, what needs to be done? Do you feel up to it? Are you up to it? If you're not up to it, there's no fear in saying, hey,
help me out.
Yeah, and so that helped, you know, through that cycle till another season came. So I mean, I don't know if you have anything to share about that.
So I think if I mean, take a look back, the essential part of it is that we grew up with our children. Our life evolved
Around
with
them.
them. Not even around
Them.
them,
Okay, with
evolved
them.
with them. So we have a household where our kids know everything we're doing. Our kids probably know everybody we're doing a major business with. They know what that business is.
Oh, really?
They've read the decks.
Yeah,
They've read the proposals.
Decks,
They know everything. So if we're doing business with you now and maybe it's something significant we're talking about it, they know you, they know what you do, they know everything.
Oh, really?
So life evolved with them. They were like companion as well. And if you look at a space of 15 years, we've come through a lot.
I can imagine.
From one house to the other, different goals, different dreams, everything. So we grew up and everybody was, growing.
Adjusting, you're finding your space,
Yeah, so it was a question of adjusting and just finding our way around all of these things together. And I think that's essentially what brings me to say that, I mean, we never really said, oh, train these kids like this. But over a while we realized that they watch you more than they listen to you.
Yes,
which is why it became easy for us to show them everything, let them see.
What's
they go
going
to
on.
the office, they go to meetings with us, they go to everywhere. And even talking about having a nanny or not, I mean, we had ups and downs. There was a day that we had some lady that was working with us and we found cockroach in the food.
She made a mala.
Yeah, there was cockroach in the food and our son was going to eat it.
How old was he at the time?
It was maybe two or 1 plus.
Hey, probably still
maybe 2, 3, and I think he was trying to.
Up to 3.
Yeah,
we're still in.
Because I know he couldn't even eat the amala by himself, but wanted him
Yeah.
to start eating that, and I opened it and I saw cockroach in it. There are days when, I mean, it's crazy where we've had house helps that it was so bad that we had to bundle one into the car and take her to the car park and call her people and say, "Where are we going?" So. The point is that it wasn't exactly planned out, but things happened the way they happened. Even her joining the media business happened the way it happened, and we just had to navigate. There were times when we really felt a bit uneasy about a few things. She wanted our son to start school. I didn't want him to start school yet.
What age did you want him to start?
I can't remember then, but I mean,
He was probably still crawling.
Yeah, and she wanted him out of the house.
Yeah, I needed space to work.
You get it. And she was doing the fashion thing. Tailors will come, will be in the house and everything. And I didn't want him to start, especially because I didn't like the school. That was closest to where he could start. I hated the school. And there were financial. Exactly. There were financial consideration as well.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't want my child to go to that school. But she just wanted him to go to a school. And also going by the kind of school I went to, now I was like, no way, it can't be that school. So I mean, there was a lot of that. There was a lot of that. There was a lot of can you go out? The kids are around. Are you going to stay home? Who's going to stay? So I wouldn't say we had a clear plan, but we ended up bonding our kids to a lot of our productions because
that was
there was no choice, and it was fun. So it wasn't like it was something out of place. It was fun. We ended up just moving everything together. They know everybody that works with us. They know everyone. They know everything. So I guess that made it easier.
I mean, well, especially with Itayo, because that's the first. Okay, the first. He went out a lot with us, a lot more. His sister came 3 years later. There was a bit of. I mean, we're a bit
in Lagos Island. The time when you shoot Third Bridge.
As a baby he went, and that opened him up because I remember then he became friendly. He could talk to anybody. It shaped him because he was used to seeing new faces, every day, and all of that. I don't think Nanny had that much of that experience.
Exposure.
Life was a lot balanced.
Yes, it was a lot balanced. At that time, we're newly married. He also just got into entrepreneurship at the time. I was in entrepreneurship
as well.
We're still trying to find which way, so a lot of, let's just go, happened. With Nini, we were a bit settled, the fashion had picked up. Same with the media business at the time. So she was a bit more, and of course she had an older brother. It wasn't just
her.
Yeah, and I know Yinka struggled a little bit with that.
Oh,
yeah, we're having someone else share
attention,
share his parents with him.
Okay, because
But-
was used to always doing
Yeah,
everything
we're
with you
always
guys.
everywhere together.
Okay.
Went everywhere together.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how did you handle that with him, like making him accept?
I wouldn't say, I don't know. I wouldn't say it was handled.
Terms with it.
Yeah.
Sink or swim.
I won't say we did anything specifically, but it's the new reality, and it's everybody needed to adjust. So yeah, I mean, there were, of course, those moments of, oh, if it was me, you would have done so, yeah,
And then
you know? So I mean, I don't want to sound like, oh, we had everything thought out, and when things like this happen, this is what you do. Don't be like that. It doesn't work like that. Yeah.
The only thing I feel maybe was deliberate was I was keen about them exploring their comprehension.
Okay.
You know, so very much early, like maybe even like 5 or thereabouts, I got them out writing. They write about where we go to. So they did a lot of writing. Of writing. 500 words, 1,000 words. A lot of writing.
Daddy.
Oh, they did.
500 words.
I'm telling you, you'll be shocked. They wrote more than that even. You know, we got into a lot of explaining what you can see. You know, so a lot of those kind of things were the things I would say was deliberate. Every other thing was
as the situation was coming.
As the breeze blows.
But you know what mattered the most for us was we were already a kind of people, right? We were given to expression. We're also open, and there was also a way we dealt with life.
Okay.
You know, and we didn't think that what we had or our perspective on life was something we had regrets on, or something we thought needed to be worked on or to be better. So we weren't trying to make up for something with our kids.
Okay.
So it's not like, so we basically just give them who we are.
Take us like this.
Yeah. And we think this is a perspective of life, and we're your parents, right? So this is how we So because I've had conversations with people where I'm like this is how I grew up. I don't want my kids to grow up like this, and you're constantly making up for stuff. That wasn't it. We were living.
Okay.
You know, as newlyweds, a couple, as much as you've dated for long, I'm assuming, there's still the newness or the difference of just stepping into a marriage, and then there's now we're trying to figure out, I'm responsible for this woman is responsible for me, you know, that kind of thing. And then a child now comes along. So how did that child coming along affect your emotional connection? How did it affect your relationship?
So that's very interesting. First, let me track back to I think we dated for about 5 years before we got married.
5.
I mean, I don't know about him, but I don't know if there was a newness to the fact that we got married.
Okay. Because it was something you were familiar with.
Yeah, because we're pretty much already 5 and 6, right? Before getting married. So it was just more of now we're now legally
it's formal,
always together
now.
You know, I don't have to go home. I don't think I felt any newness apart from the tension of the marriage itself.
Yeah, that's so, and that is the tension. That's okay now.
Because they are planning this event, this person needs this. You are catering to other people's needs. Aside from nobody's even asking you what you want. So getting into marriage and now having a baby. So I had a very easy pregnancy.
Okay.
So more like I didn't even know I was pregnant. Something like that. I didn't it wasn't a problem for me.
you.
So life was still, I mean, we're still out partying together with big belly, still wearing heels. I was still going to the clubs. Yes, having the baby was, yes, also pretty easy. Then the baby landed. Then I saw a different side of life. Because, I mean, after a while, I realized that maybe what I experienced was postpartum depression. I felt overwhelmed all the time. I didn't get the memo. Yeah, I didn't know it was going to be like that. Because, and you know, you had this
visuals,
certain things that you wanted to do. Then this don't give your children baby milk was really
baby formula. You must be
breastfeed. Exclusive.
6 months exclusive. I remember my mom would call me and say, Bola, give this child
formula.
Because the boy used to just cry.
Demand was not meeting supply.
You feed the baby now.
Like 5 minutes.
He will sleep. You think, okay, let me rest. Then, yeah. Why are you so angry?
I've not even experienced life yet. I had this obsession.
What's vexing you like this?
I didn't understand what was going on. My mom will call me, Bola, it is hunger. Give this child food. No. Oh, Lord. So, going through that emotionally, then I was cranky. Of course, naturally, you're not sleeping, your work is also there.
You need to face that.
Yeah, nothing was just, it just felt like the entire world was on my shoulders.
Yeah,
and, I mean, I can imagine maybe the things I also did to him. Please, you know, so it was such an interesting period and I think it pulled us away for a bit.
Okay.
But he's also a very intentional and conscious person with things like that. So he was constantly making conscious efforts to
pull you back.
You know. So if not for that, I don't know what would have happened. And because I'm also a very introspective person, I'm constantly thinking and analyzing stuff. After like a year, after there was a bit of a balance and he could come. So I don't like babies. No. That you cannot communicate what you want. It's a problem.
Yes, it is.
So the moment he was able to communicate, oh, mommy, I want this, mommy, I want to do this, then hey, life became now we can, you know.
Have conversations.
I just thought about it. I remember I made it a conscious effort then to reach out to anybody around me that just got married or just had a baby. This is what we expect, because nobody told me. And if you're not careful, then I began to watch marriages that started going apart. And I realized that I think marriages start going apart from the moment they have a child. If you don't take care of that first child, that 1 year period, and you guys don't work together, you would just continue to
drift
then
apart.
You now start holding on to your kids as substitutes. So I used to reach out to make sure you keep communicating. Make sure this, make sure it will do like this. So it's like I used to make it conscious because of what I
had experienced.
I had experienced.
Really
Oh yeah. It wasn't that bad with Nino, but we were experienced.
We knew by then you already
back then any small thing, it had does like this hospital. Just like this hospital. We need let's take it tomorrow. Next tomorrow. Is she still doing that? So that experience. But I don't know. He has
like the connection was affected.
Oh yes, absolutely. I mean, for me, first of all, was because I was living in a house. It wasn't like we married and we moved into a house. And I had like a 3-bedroom house, which I liked.
So she came
exactly.
With her friend.
You know, so so the first thing was nothing special. I mean, of course, she stayed weekends even before we got married and all of that. But I realized that after we got married, something interesting happened. Somebody wanted some things in some places. And
why are you moving my
That
soft?
is a
For this
shared.
now.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Why are you moving? I know
It-
exactly.
it now became a shared apartment.
But it was
you
going
know.
to be a shared
Oh,
apartment.
I didn't.
Yeah,
I
You
but
didn't
you
get the
have
memo
I
too.
didn't get
You
that
didn't get the
too.
memo.
Like, so what is wrong with this being here? What is wrong with that being here? So it was a lot of that.
First
She
of all.
needed, she needed this to look that way, did that way.
But it was
Then
fine before.
some colors of certain things I was okay with was like
Why?
You married a creative.
you get.
That's
So I think I mean it's easy to snap out of that as a guy because you just be like, well, you want to
It's okay.
body, so have
No
fun.
problem.
But I think the one that is could be quite emotional is the mother hen
Behavior.
behavior. I remember, I think there was a day I wanted to use the comb, and I just saw the comb in maybe the bathroom or something, and I had to not use the comb because it's our son's comb. That I didn't.
You couldn't take
It
it.
wasn't funny.
That wasn't funny because I'm like, I'm like, but that's my son as well. Like, do you get like, oh, or maybe, oh, there could be, maybe you could infect him with what?
Say with what?
Bola, really?
Yeah, with what? Like, so there was this whole, then you
Constantly.
yeah,
How babies
Yeah,
are delicate.
yeah.
You're not supposed to share their stuff.
and the way it started
Do you still
really
think
usually
you are
is.
delicate?
After
I
baby
mean,
number one.
usually it starts with, the sleeping, the child wakes up at night, the mom is always, the
Up.
attention. A lot of men probably wouldn't see that, like, oh, you're not now
You're not the center
Center
of
of
our
action
world
anymore.
anymore.
exactly. And it's not as if you apply to be the center at any point,
But I
But
just
find
at
out
least
that
you were sure
the
important.
goalpost
Dynamics
has
has
changed.
changed.
So that happens. Then this whole mother hen thing, but then which is something that I mean, it took a while, but not like so long. But I realized that okay, fine. So it was a case of okay, you leave these guys to their
To their
thing,
thing.
let them have fun, and I mean, you go ahead with your life, somehow. So I think that is one major thing, and for her as well, yeah, the reaction was very, very interesting because you could easily see your wife losing herself. You get, she didn't care about what was on her hair, what she wore.
No, we don't used to. That kind of time. Your handbag is baby bag.
Yeah, everything is
like,
just,
yeah, it's a lot.
everything is just, everything is,
Baby-centric.
yeah,
You want to survive.
Like, can I just get through today?
And the annoying part of it is that you both don't understand what
What is
you're
going on
going
at the
on?
point in time?
You
Yes,
just know that something
is happening.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've really enjoyed hearing this, you reminiscing on all of this. So now we've heard when the baby came and all of that. So now I recall you saying that at some point, because of work, you wanted the baby out of the house at a certain age and he didn't. So now, did that now change your parenting style in the sense like, okay, you had certain expectations that you wanted for your child and then you just wanted to focus on something at the point in time? So how did you guys now make a compromise to like moving forward, like continuing?
So I don't think that was a parenting situation.
Okay.
That was just a
A life-
function of what we individually wanted at that time.
Okay.
It was circumstantial.
Okay.
I just needed a break.
I can relate.
I've always known that kids go to crash from
3 months.
If I was working in a bank, the kid will
Yeah.
have to be
In a
But
crash.
I also understood it. But understanding was not enough. I just needed that space. So it was something we needed to resolve between ourselves. Of course, it was major.
Yeah.
Because I had my way with that, but he didn't like it.
The fact, yeah.
But I had my way, sha.
Okay, but
So-
then the next thing comes along.
Yeah, I mean, we had to talk about it. Of course, we eventually changed his
The school.
school and all of that, and also the approach, the manner with which that happened, there were so many things we needed to resolve because I didn't have the cash. Like he had also said at the time, it was also a financial decision. He wouldn't have wanted that type of school.
Yeah.
But I just wanted something to happen at that time. So I went home. I went to my mom to get the cash. And he wasn't going to have that.
Yeah.
So it was layered. Right? And for me, it was, there was a problem. I just found a solution. You know, I didn't understand what it also meant to him, you know, at the time. So it was layered. It was things that we had to unpack over a period, you know. Then I just thought he was just being irrational. I thought he didn't understand because he wasn't right at the
center of the story.
Yes, you know, but just let this child go at least those few hours.
It will buy me it will buy me time. Yeah.
Some, you know. Now back to parents. Of course, we obviously crossed that bridge.
But then there are other. In
terms of the parenting and all, I think what has helped us above all is the fact that we're buddies to each other. So we don't work with quote and unquote labels. Oh, this is a parenting style. This is this is that. But we're constantly talking. So we're constantly discussing what is going on. So while we're talking about stuff, beyond even the family, I'm his bounce board, he's my bounce board. So we're already used to having a problem, discussing it, resolving, finding a solution, or finding a strategic approach to something. So everything just fell through in that line. So how do we handle this? How don't we handle this? Naturally, because we still have different personalities, someone will be more in a certain way than another. Like I was hanging out with a couple of my girlfriends recently, just talking about kids generally, and just two of us. By the time we finished that conversation, I'm like, God forbid if we had to divorce now and the kids had to choose. I'm like, I'm sure none of the kids will go with me. They'll stay with their dad. 100%. Which is a weird thing to say for a mother.
For a mother, yeah.
But quite frankly, I'm not going to have an issue with it. Because he's better with kids. I think I had this conversation with him recently that maybe if I stayed a little longer before I got married, maybe I would have at some point decided that I don't want to have kids. Children. You know? So he's better with them. He plays with them. He's more creative in terms of engaging with them. I want to. Are we getting ourselves? Are we? And I come off a bit too serious for them. Sometimes I remember a day when Nanny told me that, Mommy, you just done everything to. Almost as if I would just start preaching. I'm like, hey, let me know. Because in my mind, I'm thinking I'm a cool mom. I'm not doing enough. That's all right. So, of course, that will be. But there are just certain things that they themselves know.
Yeah.
It's always a united front, collective. And there's also no shaming. I don't know. Yes. You need something. Go and ask your daddy. This is not my,
your specialty.
Yeah, so they get that. They also know who they reach out to for what and whatnot. So we didn't sit down to decide on a parenting style, but we've always just thought through things, everything in life together.
Okay.
Which is the...
Yes, okay. And funny enough, you should say that because even for us, if the kids had to choose, they are going to go with their daddy. I don't understand. They will go with their daddy because you know what he does for them? Like, I bought you the presents.
Wow!
It's never a we. It's never a we bought you the presents. I didn't got you the presents.
I don't agree.
Wait.
That is such a massive lie.
Let me have my moments.
No.
Let me have my moments. Wait, first.
Now, you know why that's a massive lie?
Let me finish.
Because I'm very
I believe you.
intentional about telling
Yes.
the children we.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
The last present
yes,
you
yes.
bought, what
My
did Tenny
children are
say?
coming.
Tenny
My
said,
children are
Daddy,
coming.
you are the best daddy.
Wait, hold on.
Wait,
Now.
so say
My
like,
children are coming. My children are.
But-
I am extremely intentional about telling them we. Beyond the other hand, is quick to say I. Now the thing about them is that they're not stupid. They know. No, because they can see what the presence is.
You see these wee
I
eye
know.
They know who
conversation.
will buy that.
Who is likely
to.
who is likely to get
Don't
me
worry,
this thing?
don't
So for
worry.
example, Tenny's last birthday. Tenny, what do you want for your birthday? I don't know. I'm fine. I can't really think of anything. I don't know. So one day Amikun comes to me and says, this Tenny, I don't know. We have to figure something out. I was like, okay, you know what? We'll make a plan and try and see what it is that we'll be able to, That's what I told her. So I was like, okay, you know what? You will scam him. You tell him this. What is his favorite this? What is his favorite that? And then I was on Amazon and I just saw my son loves Pokemon. So I just saw a rare Pokemon card and I bought it. You get. Now when I was giving Tenny his presents, I said, oh, so we all, including your sister, bought you these presents.
That's my son.
That's what I told him, including your sister. But my son knows the person he has Pokemon conversations with.
so
He knows the person.
does that make it that the mother does not know that he does not like
Kurt-
Pokemon?
Courtesy Guards.
No, he likes
No,
Pokemon.
he knows.
Because I know, because
Yes,
I told
but-
him that we're going to do Guinness World record of him mentioning Pokemon and when they evolve. So he knows I know.
So, because
why would
a
he
child-
just assume that it's his father?
So why would you assume that I
Because
told him that it is
immediately
I? I mean, why are you assuming that I said
I didn't assume. No.
Ask his sister.
In short, we digress. We
Jehovah.
digress.
I said
No problem.
We
It's
have to
okay.
digress.
We digress. We
Because-
digress. Let's go back to the matter in hand.
Okay.
Yes, by the way, then we go with their father.
14 years later.
So she said you have creative ways in which you engage with the kids. It makes me very curious. So what were some of the examples or what were some of the creative things you came up with when you were interacting with the
Like,
kids?
what are the things?
What were the things that you did?
Because, for example, you mentioned them writing comprehension.
Oh, that one still blows my mind.
You get so
At
like,
age 5.
it was a decision. It was a conscious decision. It wasn't just you get. So what are some of the
Other things that you did.
And then did that at any point clash?
Okay.
Like I want them to
Yeah.
be this. I want them to do this. But I want them to do that.
Okay, so I think that one of the things, if you just go to Instagram, you see dads playing with their kids. Where
But we didn't have Instagram back then.
no, I'm saying now.
Okay,
if you
now,
look at
okay, yes, now.
Instagram now. I think men are just don't take themselves too seriously. We just have fun. You know, there's always something interesting to do, and as they might say, men usually, I think, find it easy to reach out to the boy in them so quickly. You know, probably than women sometimes. So if you left a man, I mean, not when he's serious doing something seriously, he's just going to come down
to that
boy
level,
becomes a
a boy.
child.
Yeah, it becomes a child, and you know, sometimes even in trying things, you know, you just want to, even when you're driving, even when you're doing, you want to do some silly things. You get so. And once you see those kids, they're the natural companion for
Those kind of
enough
behavior.
silliness. But behavior is like that, you know. So I think for me, that's pretty much what it is. You know, you know, so I mean, getting them to do stuff, getting us to dance, getting us to jump, getting us to, like, sometimes we wake up in the morning, we go for a run. You know, she comes with us sometimes, but most times we
It's
not
just
want
you
to.
and you don't want me to
Yes,
come.
you know. I mean, we do all kinds of things together. We wash cars together. We do stuff together, you know. So it wasn't like I had to think, but I was deliberate about being engaging because I also enjoyed it. You know, I also enjoyed that you know, that engagement. And in terms of maybe things for them to read, for instance, like last year, I found that, you know, I went to a friend's house and I saw his child, and the way he welcomed me at the gate, I'm like, are we breeding zombies? You know, and I mean, and you're talking about certain kinds of families, you know what I mean? Like, you know, so there's this whole butter thing taken to a different level. And he was just looking at me like this and, hi, where's your dad? Oh, he's in. And he didn't have that interpersonal communication. Then I went back and thought about my son as well, like, oh, these guys are beginning to develop these things because we shield them too much. We keep them from this, we keep them from that. Now, while we will say we're not trying to give them a different kind of life, but maybe some of the things we have access to is making them do certain things.
A certain way.
A certain way. Especially if you live in some part of the town, they can't go out, they're almost prisoners in their homes. There was a day my son came out from the car, from the back of the driver. He came out from the back and he was disoriented. He didn't know which way to turn. And he was already about 12 or 13 then, because he wasn't used to being on the road. And there were bikes, there were everything. And I'm like, no, this won't happen. And half the time, like the boy I said I saw in my friend's house, they're in some fantasy land. They're in Minecraft. They're just lost in that space. So for me, those were the intentional part where I'm like, okay, fine, we're going to start reading real books. So I'll read the book, real books, then I'll give it to him to read. Read. By the time we're done last year, I think combined with Nini's books, the ones we read, I think we probably finished maybe almost 40 something or 50 books or something.
I only read one.
And it was so bad
no
that
judgment.
Yeah,
no judgment.
They kept hounding her that you need to read this one. They gave her timeline. They gave her
They gave me 1 month.
1 month. And these were books that they like. My son reads sometimes he reads a day and a half or two. Like 400 pages done. I can't even meet that because I have other things to do in my life, So even if I didn't have other things, I can't read that after this, So I think in terms of being creative, it was interesting. There was a time when some brand reached out to us and said they wanted us to do some ad because somebody had been seeing my Instagram where we play, and all of that. So we just try to experience things, and I think it's just about that experience, that possibility. Sometimes I decide to cook. Like I'm not the best cook in my house at all, but I have a way of putting some interesting things together
and then
and they want to eat it, they want to be part of it. I think my son even has taken to cooking more because he's always with her. So when I hear people say outside, oh, you're training boys to not be in the kitchen, my son likes to be in the kitchen. Yet my son and I, we do press ups. We run 3-4 kilometers. He's a man's man, and at the same time he's comfortable being trying to cook something, even if he's not, So I think it's just been that when you talk about creativity, that's it. I mean, I just come up with things and we just try it. Exactly. I mean, you need to like tickle their fancy. Like you need something, and and that's why when you say would they go with dad or mom, they don't like going out of the house with me because they get hungry. Because I don't remember to buy food.
Because you don't eat yourself.
But they go with their mom. If their mom says, let's go somewhere there, I know, there'll be meat pie, there'll be this, there'll be that, there'll be that. But when it's daddy, might just get too serious and some things might. But at the same time, they like that fun part of you. At the same time, they know daddy can just get serious. Daddy can take you to a meeting, come back from the meeting and ask you to
tell us what's happening in the meeting.
So I think it was something that we were able to connect with, and which was something that I also did, and I think my dad also helped me do things like that. When you talk about disparity in like the family, one of the things I found out also was that people that get married should clearly understand that they're coming from two different places.
Yes.
There were just 3 of them in their house. We are 6 of us.
Oh, wow.
Right, plus our 6.
Cousins and people lived with you.
There were some people that my cousins got married to, I thought were my brothers. Right? It was such a large house. There are some people that my sister, the person my sister got married to, I thought was my brother. But apparently it was my sister's boyfriend. Do you understand? So the house was full, really full, and people just did all kinds of. So there was a lot of attention, and clearly when you live in those two different, and we had a business as well. My parents had a business where we all went to, in quote, intern. Sort of everybody goes through
the company.
Through the company. At some point, you get to run some things, you get to do accounts, you get to do this, so the exposure on this side was different. The exposure on her side was different, and you need to be clear that you're from. But we didn't have any problems with it because she found it interesting too. When I say, "Oh, we do this," you're like, "Oh, really? okay, let's try it. You know, so yeah.
She was open to it as well.
Exactly.
And the conversation started in the car, and Nanny is going, "Oh, I think I like girls." And Nathan says, "No, you don't like girls. You like boys." Like, you know, that whole he knows how to deal with her, and he was defining what was to her, and he was trying to make a point of, oh, it's not what's supposed, yeah.
How did I end up here?
Today, we are going to use the chopsticks to pick the ball from this cup to this cup. Me and Bio-san will make it happen.
Bio-san, Phil. I don't know.
Okay, guys, welcome to another game. Let's see who's going to be able to use chopsticks to move 3 balls, ping pong balls from here to here. I've never used chopsticks either.
I know, but like I'm not coordinating.
So we'll just figure it out.
Okay.
Yeah. Are we ready?
No. All right. Okay, so
it works. All right.
In 3, 2, 1, go. Awuli, please, when you are picking games, pick games that people can actually do. Well, it's okay.
No, you can't do that. You can't do that. Wow. Slippery balls, man.
Did you just say slippery balls?
They're slippery balls. They're balls and they're slippery. Wow.
You've not been able to hold it.
Apparently.
So, I don't know. Did you guys rig it?
No, I must win. Oh, I've already won.
Won what?
Say the outro. While I'm...
So you were not able to bring out a ball from my cup?
Reset. This is your cup, right?
Mm-hmm. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Please, my game master, can you pick games that I can actually play?
Games that you can actually win, you mean?
Win? So, yeah, we have closed. We have closed. Focus.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. We'll see you next time on Love and Everything in Between.
Thank you.
You have to ask them that one.
I too wanted to, how you think? Because
you say
I cannot know now, it's the child that will tell you now.